I've never been this baffled or this on the fence of who they are and what they are. Like last year, I was sipping the tea, Steiny. I was drunk in love, shout out Beyonce, about the Warrior potential to bounce back and be a competitor, especially when Chris Paul, was signed. You're right. They thought they had action, and that team didn't qualify.
You know why and I'd love to know how Warrior fans feel about this at 888-957-9570. You know why I'm out on Markkanen?
Tell me.
Because if you trade for Markkanen, okay, and you give up 2 firsts and that 2030 pick, so you're giving up first-round picks in 26, 28, and 30, I think the odds are more likely that you would end up trading Steph Curry.
Okay.
Because you give up 3 first-round draft picks, and then things go sideways.
Right.
You are effed. And then the only way you can get picks back, those picks back, are going to be for trading Steph Curry down the line.
And that's beautiful. I believe it. But Steiny, what if that's something on the train track that you got to face if you hold on to the picks and you continue to not be a playoff team. We've talked about it. We've heard people call. It's a reality. No one wants to see it happen. But Steiny, if you swing and miss on a Markkanen and it doesn't work out, the way you get, as in the street, Steiny, get back would be moving Steph. That would be the one way you might even tell
why
Steph
don't you do that now?
on it. No, because if you get a guy like a PG, if you got Paul George or Markkanen, which you still, I know you're saying there's a chance. If you do, it might be enough.
For what?
To compete for a chip.
Come on, Goo.
No, I'm being...
Lauri Markkanen puts them back in the championship category?
I would love to see it.
Well, that's different than... I don't think Lauri Markkanen puts them back in the championship discussion. And boy... how long are we going to do this?
See, and I don't think there were, and people, I can do it because it's me. They weren't your traditional 10 seed. There were extenuating circumstances with Draymond Green. So now I do my math. Okay, we're 5 or 6. Where does Markkanen take us if we're really, truly a 5 or 6 seed in the West? Could he get us to 3? Who knows? And now,
are you... Well, if you're going to operate as though this was a better team than last year, well, then you should get mad at Clay leaving.
And that's that partner, and that's why.
But you know what?
Now
they didn't think that.
Yeah.
They didn't think that.
Yeah.
So, if you want to talk about this team being a 50-win team, if Draymond, and you know what? I am like, it wasn't just Draymond. Like, why can't we look at the season last year and say, let's just be rational? Let's take emotion out of it. Why did we miss the playoffs last year? Okay, Draymond Green getting suspended, that hurt. That's on the Mount Rushmore. All right, who else? Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson, you can tell me anything you want. He didn't have a good year last year. And now we're finding out he was checked out. That's the second reason they didn't make the playoffs. Reason 3 to me why they didn't make the playoffs is because Wiggins is just absolutely, positively mediocre right now at best. And then number 4 is Steph Curry's second half. Like those to me are the 4 reasons they didn't make the playoffs. And I'm using their 4 best players because their 4 best players didn't get it done. They just did not get it done. And so don't you have to look at all 4 of those players as opposed to just blaming Draymond in and of himself?
Yes, but when I go to Draymond and why it ends up on him is he gave you a 0 27 times because he was gone. And you know what I'm saying? Nothing supersedes that. He was finito, not even in uniform. Well, I'd rather have you play bad, but be a part of it than a 0.
But you know what I don't want? I don't want you playing bad and not being a part of it.
Let me
and that's what it sounds like was going on with Klay Thompson last year.
Okay.
I think
I'm blown away. He shot 39% with all that he was dealing with. Like, no, seriously. Like, I almost want to give him a medal for that.
Well, that's all he did. Like,
Average
that's
18.
all he did.
Average 18.
Right, but Goo,
I'm not telling you he was an all-star.
But you're telling me you want him around for 3 years.
If we take the name away and I said Evan Giddings, player A, got average 18 points a game and shot 39% from 3, you would be like—
can't guard twos.
Well,
seriously.
Well, Buddy Hield can't guard twos, and I'm not saying Buddy plays
Buddy
replacement.
can shoot it better now.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Okay, I got something to say to you.
Oh.
Because you got me thinking. I'm pulling one of your moves. So you're telling me Steph Curry tired at the second half, and I'm American as anybody. I'm just not in on Curry at this juncture, and I'm being selfish, where the Golden State Warriors are, his age, that him playing in the Olympics is not going to take away or take some endurance away from his stamina come this season. I can't be the only one that's concerned about that. That can look past the gold and say, if the Warriors could control this, I could give you a list of players that have no business down there, but Curry's one of them. And that pains me.
Well, you always want to talk about this organization being first class and this organization doing things the right way.
Clay wasn't treated first class.
Okay, well, you know what? Telling Steph Curry he can't try to get a gold medal, that's every bit as bad as the way.
And you're not going to do it.
You can't do it.
But my point is the damage that's going to take.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. In fact, I was telling Dibbs yesterday, I said.
Yesterday you were off.
Yeah, I was golfing with him.
Dibbs was on the
ask
course.
Him about it. You can ask him.
What'd you shoot?
85.
Dibbers.
85.
Dibber got a day pass.
Morning pass.
Oh, yeah. All right.
What was I going to say now? I think there should be, and I don't know if it's a study, but I'll tell you what I'm going to be very interested in. Very interested in. Help me out with some of the names here.
All right.
I'm going to be very interested in seeing how many of these guys, what they do. These old guys in the Olympics, I am fascinated to see what kind of years they have. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. Wow. Who else? Who else is 33 or more?
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard.
Who walked into Vegas with a limp. Bate sent me the video. I'm like, he's hurt already.
Exactly. So I am interested to see. I'm gonna have an eye on the veterans who play in the Olympics and what kind of season they end up having.
Wow.
Because
I'm scared.
39 days.
And you talk about his second half. Like, if we get to see him or get in front of him, I know you'll bring that up, Steiny, but I am wondering, man, what he thinks about. How many days did you say? How many days are they gonna? Is this gonna?
39.
Oh man,
it's probably down to 36 now. Yeah.
And a finger issue already, if you believe Dawn's report.
Evan, tell Guru to relax about this stupid finger.
It was a report that came across the timeline.
Well, to be fair, Steiny, you also were freaking out about it in the timeline yesterday.
About his finger?
Oh, yeah.
What did I say?
You said
night.
Huh? You said night. Call him home.
I meant the dynasty.
Oh, boy,
I didn't mean the finger.
Hey, when you put night, it bothered me.
Pull the plug.
Yeah. Dude, come home. And Durant shut down with a calf strain. Go. Know what happened last time.
Curry's basically got a Purple Heart coming home, right?
He better not start. Just Kerr,
I hope he plays 40 minutes a game and finally gets his gold medal like he deserves.
Well,
hey, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. At the summit tonight at Fremont Bank, which starts at 4 p.m., we're going to be asked this. And we're going to have a big crowd on that roof. And Willard likes to get the fan opinion.
Yeah. Willard.
And he's going to probably ask this question, and I got to answer it right. Is the dynasty over? It's over, Goo.
Wow.
Goo, it's over. And the minute we all accept it, then we can start to move on and build this team in a positive way.
And I'll say to that, and I'm going to shock you, I don't know why, when Clay left, it was over. It's currently, even if they win another one, Clay wasn't a part, and that was a big part of, God darn it, 3 guys that started in 14-15 that won it are still doing it. One of the 3 Musketeers is gone. Now, obviously I'd be at the parade and I'd be giddy. But Steiny, I wanted them to
Dallas
ride out
parade?
failing together. I wanted them to fail together, even if they couldn't get back to the mountaintop.
Okay. And
I wanted to see that ending.
Okay.
And it's almost like with
And
the
you
year
just
they
said
blew
it.
the 16 finals because of Draymond, that they went and got Durant, and that was euphoria. But I was robbed. We were robbed to see if that Warrior team, who already had a chip, could come back after having the Cavs down and their foot on their throat 3-1. Hey, I get it. Durant came, and somewhere like that was better than winning it. But I wanted to see that. I won't get to see Clay.
You said
ride
something.
out with
You
Dre and Steph.
Okay, and honestly, Goo,
Yeah.
I love you, but you said something that no coach, that no general manager, that no owner would ever say or would ever do on purpose. You said you would rather see them fail together. You cannot run anything like that. I get sentimentality, but this is where I got to ask you, are you really saying to me, Goo, that you would rather have signed Klay Thompson for 3 years and for that team to not make the playoffs for the next 3 years, because that's what failing together would be, as opposed to trying to do what they're going to do now and start to win some games in the next year or two?
Yeah. It's not a fair question.
You can't
though,
believe
Steiny.
that.
It's not a fair question, because when you make a
hold
decision
on.
in life, you can never know the future.
Fair. But I'm taking.
I would have been up here thinking they had action, just like they did when they brought CP3 in here, and that team didn't even make the playoffs. You know what I mean? So when you put it that way, it's so unfair, because I would never supersede watching
Guru.
Klay play and knowing the team wasn't going to make the offs.
Well, you said
do
you
it
would-
thinking they can.
Goo, you said you'd
Okay.
rather see them fail together than try to go another direction.
Well, I don't think they've gotten better right now.
Okay, we don't know that.
You're
and
right.
if I were in a different space, I might be up here saying, this team stinks. But you know what? I watched Klay last year. I watched him all year. And I've seen these three guys play, and I get they're not sexy names, but I absolutely think this team right now might be better than last year. It might be. Those three guys bring stuff to the table that Klay doesn't bring.
And if Dre doesn't get suspended, Steiny, let's just say he plays 74 games
58
again,
wins.
then they're going to be better. But you can't just say it's because of Klay. It'll be that Dre
It's
was
four
available.
things. I told you four things.
Yeah.
They're not making the playoffs next year if Wiggins is like Wiggins was last year. They're not making the playoffs next year if Curry has another second half like he had. They're not making the playoffs if Draymond Green gets suspended.
And you know what? When it's all said and done, and shout out and kudos to everybody that reported what was going on behind the scenes with Klay and what he was dealing with, I'm mad at both parties. And why I say I'm mad, Steiny, is Klay was worried about other people's chicken, along with Dre. The disease of me set in, and he could have signed that deal 2 for $48 if he was feeling like I was. Hey, I got 2 more years here. We'll make the best of it and see what we can do. You would have been getting $24 million a year. You went somewhere to get 16. But
Got
when
an
I
extra
hear,
year.
yeah, but when I hear reports about you were mad 2 years ago that 2 of your comrades got a deal before you, that is why I look at everybody in totality like he could have easily remained a Warrior.
We're under the,
it was ego, it was spite, it was jealousy, and that's why he
and
ain't
we're
here.
all under the illusion that the Warriors players are more magnanimous than other NBA players, and they're not. They're just players like all the other players in the
maybe
league,
that's what I'm
and they're
finding out,
selfish
Steiny.
like all the other players in the league, especially as they get older.
And that's
you
what
know
I'm
what? And you know
finding
what?
out, man.
I guarantee you, what Klay will say. I got more money from Dallas than the Warriors offered me. More total money.
Yeah.
Well, it's only $2 million. That's right. But I got $50 million, and they were only offering $48.
And he's got what I assume, Steiny, a starting role in Dallas.
I don't know. It'll be much easier for him to come off the bench in Dallas. You can't come off the bench here. He can't sit behind. He couldn't have sat behind Potts.
No, there's no doubt.
So 888-957 888-9570 is the number. Free agency a week in. Things are starting to slow down a little. Markkanen is still in the picture, but clearly it is going to take a significant package and draft picks. And if you're telling me, right, I don't even care about the other players, but if you're telling me that it's at least going to be Kuminga and 2 firsts, I'm out on Markkanen. What about you guys? 888-957-9570. The other thing the Warriors can't do, unless they make other moves, is you can't acquire Markkanen and pay both Kuminga and Markkanen. You can't do that.
No, that's right on the table.
Yeah, and I mean, look, these rules are difficult, and they're difficult for a lot of teams right now.
You asked my opinion. You said no. I said no to the Kuminga. Do you pay him this offseason? But let's just fast forward, Steiny. That Wagner deal, man, Jonathan Kuminga is about to get a payday.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Wagner's a better player.
That I agree with.
Well, I mean.
But that's a comp for Kuminga and his camp.
Yeah, I'm not.
I hear you.
I mean, to me, paying Jonathan Kuminga this offseason, anything close to $200 million.
When you've gotten burned by the last 2 times you've done that. Am I correct with that thinking?
What do you mean?
When you did it with Poole and Wiggins.
Exactly.
That has to not be forgotten.
Yeah. 888-957. Yeah, and don't forget, 650 on the Xfinity mobile text line. I forgot, we have at the River Islands guest line. Don't forget the taxes Clay will save. Playing in Texas.